All right, guys, welcome. We are going to try to keep this brief, but also informative. Appreciate you showing up. We are going to pass this off to Adriana with NYSOA. I'm sorry, Adriana, I don't know your official title with NYSOA. I guess I should have gotten that before we got on here, but she is going to go through kind of some ins and outs of the Mighty Network, what NYSOA is trying to do to get some more participation and some things for you as the general membership to have some places to go for information, correct? And then also look at RefQuest, and then kind of go through some question and answers, hopefully, on some things there. Would that be a good surmise of what we're trying to do here today,
Yeah, that sounds
Adrian?
great.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Wonderful. Well, take it on over. It is yours.
All right. Hi guys. I can't see all of you, but hopefully you guys can see me. But I'm going to take a few minutes here. Just kind of most of you have gotten an invite to join the member portal. But with the addition of RefQuest and all the stuff you need to do there, Tony and I were talking and thought it might be a good opportunity to kind of review all the places you can go for information with NYSOA and the NCAA. So I'm going to start sharing my screen here. And if you guys have any questions as we go along, you can raise your hand or put something into the chat function, and I'll keep an eye on that as we go along. All right. So coming to NYSOA.com, this is our homepage. We redid this website maybe 4 years ago now. So little different look from the website that we had before, for those of you who have been around for a while. And most importantly is this member login function here. So if you come up to this right-hand corner, this is going to directly take you to the membership portal, which will bring you here if you're logged in. So if you are not logged in, you're going to come here and you're going to see this. Oop, here we go. You're going to see this. Come in here. If you have a login already, you're going to come up here to the top right-hand corner. If you do not have a login, come here to the request to join section. Okay. For me, obviously have a login. I'm going to sign in here. Couple of main questions that I get. For those of you, again, that have been around for a little while, you know, we used to have a YouTube page. And we still have that YouTube page, but the main difference is from what we were doing before to what we're doing now is your membership dues pay for something, right? And the main piece of that is the education piece. And so we've moved all of our educational content to our YouTube channel as unlisted. And the only way to access that educational content is by coming here to the portal. So here on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see education. Come right over here. You guys can see all of our past webinar series dating back to 2020. Some familiar ones, fireside chats, the educational quiz series that we did. And then if you're coming up here to 2024, you can see all of the things that we prepared for you to be ready for preseason this year. Okay. Continuing in education, we have some editorials from previous preseason guides. We have Corey's Corner here, all of his offside memos and write-ups that he gives for you guys, and then our in-person events. So at each of our in-person events, we record all of the sessions and make them available to you. We know it's expensive to travel everywhere, but we don't want you to miss out on educational opportunities just because you're unable to travel. So following events, we do our best to get these up as soon as possible so that everybody can make sure that they're learning and that it's not a missed opportunity to learn from some of our big speakers like Alan Kelly, or in previous years, whether it's Carol Ann or Carrie Seitz, those are all captured here. Okay. On this tab from the NCAA, you can see all of the important messages from John Collins. I tell him I'm not going to capture the daily emails that we get from RefQuest, but the important ones I do save here so that if you delete an email from RefQuest, especially as the season gets going, I know we get a lot of those, you can come back and find the important ones stored here. Most importantly, though, here under table of contents, we have all of the information you need from the NCAA to get through season. So red card reports have a link here that take you to the red card report for the NCAA. We have the Division I men's substitution cards posted here. We have the rule book. So if you're at a game and you need to quickly find the rule book, you can find that here. The rules changes overview document here, points of emphasis, and then as the season gets rolling, rules and interpretations we will get posted here as well and kept up to date. Some other things here that we have: fitness, partnerships. I'm going to go ahead and quickly cover that. If you're traveling at all through the year, we do have a discount through Enterprise and National for you all. So you can click here to find all the details for that, the code you need to plug in to make sure you're getting that discount. And then Lululemon, just an update. I know I get a lot of questions about that. We are just waiting for them to update our shipping address, and then we'll be able to get that partnership up and rolling again. We submitted that a little over a week ago, so hopefully in the next couple days we get that updated. We do have an app, Ryan. So if you go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, the app is going to be Mighty Networks is the name of the app. Great question, Ryan. And I'll drop the link into the Q&A text section here in a minute. So I'll drop in the Apple and Google Play links for you guys. And then you guys have a chapter group that Tony is going to be getting up and running for us here with the new season. So we are going to show you guys how to request to join your group. So you're going to come up here to feed. You're going to search for Central Indiana. And right here where it says view space, you're going to request to join. And then Tony or Doug or Ben or any of your chapter, Steve, they'll be able to approve your request and you'll get updates from them here as well. The main question that I get is how do I turn off the emails, which is fair. Again, I mentioned I know you guys get a lot of emails from RefQuest and assigners and all of that, right? And I don't know about you, but like I'm more likely to pay attention to the mobile request or push I get from Instagram than I am to see, you know, an email or anything like that. And so that's where the app comes in handy, like Ryan asked. So you're going to come up here to the top right hand corner. And on your phone, this is actually going to be the bottom right hand corner if you're looking at it on your app. So you're going to come up here. Let's move this. You're going to come to personal settings. You're going to come down to notifications. You're going to turn off this email updates and you're going to leave on mobile push. So if you only want to get the notifications on your phone, as like same as Twitter or Instagram or Facebook would pop up on your phone, then you want to leave this mobile push on. Okay. If you don't have the app and you turn off the email updates, the only way you're going to see stuff is by logging in. And so you're more likely to miss things. So I would not recommend turning off the email updates if you are not going to download the app. But here you can kind of decide what types of notifications you want. So I would go through, spend some time deciding what you want to know about, which you're like, I don't particularly care about that. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this year we also added RefQuest. So quickly, I'm going to show you guys some stuff on RefQuest here. You're going to come to log in. And then some main things for you guys. You want to come down, if you haven't already, I know a lot of conferences require the background check. So you're going to come over here to the background check. Okay, you can opt in for your background check here. Obviously mine's completed, so I don't have all the steps if you haven't done it already. But it should be pretty self-explanatory when you come here. And again, that's only found on the left-hand side of your desktop. So if you're trying to do it on your phone, I haven't found it yet. Someone else might have a trick for you guys, but I haven't found a way to do the background check on my phone yet. Okay. Another thing you want to make sure you do is you come up right above background check to conferences. Okay. So it's going to bring you to this screen. You guys can see I haven't done my rules test yet. Do that. We still have a couple weeks to do that. But right here on the left-hand side again, right under eligibility status, you're going to come down to conferences. You're going to choose any conferences that you work. So you can search these by Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. Okay. Add all of these conferences and then click the update conference selection. Okay. And Tony, quick question for you. Do you guys do NAIA schools in your area? Oh,
Yes, we do.
okay. Thank you. All right. So if you are wanting,
I guess I should turn that off. Sorry. I turn it back on. Yes.
No worries. No worries. So if you are working NAIA games, the way to get NAIA added to your RefQuest page is by coming here on the left, forms and documents, NAIA registration link. Click this link, put your name and email in. You need to do this before Friday. Before Friday. I sent this out in the newsletter, but this needs to be completed before Friday. RefQuest will then dump everybody's names into the NAIA Central Hub. So make sure you're completing this before Friday. I'm going to put this in the chat if you haven't done it already.
So
There's the
quick
link.
question.
That was posted in panel.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Oh, just so how will I know once I've filled this form out? How will I know that it's been processed with RefQuest?
It'll be happening this weekend. So Andy Homa will do it. You'll get an email that says you've been added to the NAIA Central Hub.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. If you've already filled this out, you don't need to do it again. He's going to take all the names on Friday this week, and he'll be doing it over the weekend. So by Monday, you should have an email.
Okay.
Okay.
And just clarification too, we fill that out. There is no extra charge. It's all included in what we've already paid, correct?
Correct. You do not need to pay for the NCAA or the NAIA. If you do not have access to either of those things and you think you should because you think you're registered, send me an email. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. Okay. Send me an email. We will get it figured out between Tony and Tom Richardson and I. We will get that figured out so that you are taken care of. But your NYSOA dues do cover NCAA and NAIA registration. We have a question in the chat. If you don't have a social security number, but you have an EIN or a tax ID number, Tony is actually going to be working on that. That's a good question. Tony's going to ask RefQuest how to take care of that, and I'm going to be working with the NCAA to put out instructions on that. So you'll either hear in a general announcement from me, or you'll hear from Tony directly on how we can get your background check done.
Yeah, so I did have a conversation, and Adriana instructed me to talk to Andy on the RefQuest side for that, for those of you who are asking about that. So I'll find out that answer and let you guys know.
Perfect. Cool. So Michael, it looks like you went in today and it tried to charge you. I'm guessing that was for NAIA, right? Okay, perfect. So NAIA, if you went in, hopefully you didn't pay. If you did, send an email to support at refquest.com. They'll get you refunded and we will get you added, but you need to fill out this Google form. And then Michael, um, if you want access to the NAIA registration this year, you need to do this Google form. In the past, you've had to pay to do it. If you fill out this form, we'll take care of it with your NYSOA dues. So you do need to fill out this form if you want to be added to the central hub for the 2024 season. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. I think I hit all those questions.
I have two questions, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
Originally, when you were talking about logging in,
Mhm.
or if you needed to create a new one, how does someone know if they already are in and they can log in, or they could have to create something new?
So you would have logged in previously if you have an account. If you don't have an account, send me an email or you can request to join. So if you remember creating a login, then you probably have one. The other thing is it is linked to your RefQuest email. So if you use Adriana at NYSOA.com on your registration with NYSOA, then that's the email that has access to this portal. If you try to go Adriana at Gmail instead of the at NYSOA, I will decline your request and I will say you already have an account using at NYSOA, or I'll approve you if you've never logged into the portal before. So
Okay.
I won't let you make a second account. I do monitor that. So you will only be allowed to use join using the registration email. If you need to update your registration email, you'll need to
Okay.
do that, and I can help you with that. Just shoot me an email, which I dropped into the chat.
All right. The second question was, we've had several members that have not received their badge. And I've noticed somewhere that you were clicking through there, and I noticed it before myself, where they would go to fill out a form or something about they haven't received their badge. There,
Perfect.
yes.
Yep. So sent it out in the newsletter yesterday, but if you come over to forms and documents, it's going to be the same place as your NAIA registration right here. Click your did not receive badge form and you can fill that out. Please keep in mind that these are sent via USPS. So I know Julie and her team are getting them out 2 or 3 times a week, but it does take a couple days. So if you fill it out on Monday, you might not have made the cut for the Monday mailing. You might have made the cut for the Wednesday mailing. So you need to give it some time. But they will make sure that everybody who filled out that form and is registered does get sent a badge.
So Official Sports is still in charge of that at this point?
Yes, they are distributing all the badges.
Okay. We're pretty fortunate that Erin Patterson, one of our local purple, is part of that, and she's so okay.
Yep,
That sounds
Erin's the
great.
MVP. She's fielding all of the questions.
Yes.
So I don't know if she's on the call or not. She might not appreciate me saying this, but if you want to know when your badge was mailed, shoot her a text or an email and she'll get you taken care of.
Go ahead and throw her under the bus. She's not here.
I was gonna say if she's here, sorry, Erin.
No, she texted earlier and said she was unfortunately not been able to be here today.
Well, good. Then I'll
So
give her
I
a
don't have a
hard time
problem
for you,
throwing her under
Cody.
the bus. I'm
I'll
sorry.
give her a hard time. Email
Oh,
Erin with
yes.
all of your questions.
There you go, guys.
Perfect. Any other questions?
Do we go? I mean, the Mighty Network. Does anybody have any questions about that app? Anything with that going on? I'm an old guy. Apps are a little hard for me, but I'm getting through it and I'm starting to understand it. So all you younger guys probably understand it better than I do. So um, between that and the website, I think they've done a wonderful job on communication here. Um, I, we'll do this after you're gone, Adrian, but I'm trying to maybe get an idea, head count of how many people are actually already there and how many do we need to get to the finish line to get them into the Mighty Network and all of that as well. Because that
Perfect.
seems
Yep.
to be where you guys are pushing everything, right?
This is where we're pushing everything. I'm trying to only send you guys an email. My goal would be next year, we're only sending you an email every other week. but right now I still got to send you guys an email every week until we kind of get the hang of Mighty Networks a little bit more. So my goal is to cut down on the amount of emails that you get from me. That is my goal. I know you get enough from Rich Grady and his protests, so I'm trying to not send very many at all. But yeah, the more we can get on this membership portal, the better. This is also where we're going to post, office hours with Corey Rockwell, on the fly updates. Let's say we have a rules clarification from Rich Grady. You're going to get it pushed to your phone instead of, waiting for it to show up in an email that again is going to get lost or put in your spam or something like that. So hopefully getting on your phone is a little bit easier. And then you can see something and put it out of your mind instead of having to sit down and look at your email all at once.
Well, I know that you earlier said 20 minutes, or we're at a 20-minute here, and you said it. Getting back.
I was trying to be quicker than that, Tony.
Oh, you did great. You did great. I have one last question for you, and it looks like there's one other one there. Real quick.
Yeah.
September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Did you mention something to me about that?
I will be posting it, so not yet.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it at that then, and I'll wait for you to post that then.
Thank you. And then it looks like I got a question for the links to the app. Yep. As soon as I stop sharing here, I'll get the links for the App Store and the Google Play Store put in the chat for you guys before I say goodnight to you.
Come on, I'm an old guy. I found all you do is Google Mighty Network, right? Is it that simple? Okay.
There's some specific links that'll make it a little easier for people.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
I'll get those in there. I try to give everybody easy information, Tony. I don't
problem.
like you having to go search for it. I try to put it all in one
We
place.
we do appreciate that very much. All right.
Awesome. Cool.
All right, Doug, is it our turn now? Doug, are you there? Waiting for Doug.
I'm here. I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, so guys, if you do have any questions on any of that, she was nice enough to give you her email. I don't know if I would have done that, but hey, thank you very much for that, Adriana. It was very informative, I thought. Really, we're going to try to, again, keep this under the hour. What we're going to do now is just kind of set up a nice, Doug has a nice PowerPoint presentation on rule changes, everything that CIISOA is doing differently this year, or NCAA is doing differently this year. And we're going to go over that and then do kind of a question and answer on the refresher test that was sent out to you last week. And quick question and answer, and then get Steve on here if he's got anything to say. And then if anybody has any questions and answers, going from there. So we'll just kind of go from there, right? What do you think, Doug? You want to start with the PowerPoint presentation you have?
Yeah, it's up there for you. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, you're putting it up on sharing and all that stuff.
Yeah, everybody can see it.
Okay, I can't see it, but all right. What am I missing?
Maybe pin the PowerPoint on your end.
You're talking to a guy, don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Pin the PowerPoint. Yeah, that
Pin the where it says program.
program.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
don't see
see?
that.
Do you see speaker view, or on your view of Zoom?
Mm-hmm.
You should see yourself in a little box and the PowerPoint. You don't see that?
I do see that up to the left. It's a small box.
Oh, but you can't read it.
Not very well.
Okay.
I thought it would be, I could see it like Adriana's.
Like bigger? I can make
Yeah.
it. How's that? Is that bigger?
Mm.
No.
You might end up having to do this.
Okay,
I see 9 screens.
All right. I'll just do it. That's fine.
Yeah, because
All right. The soccer goal with football operates. This is
thank you,
not-
Doug.
That's all good. But rather, it's just the clarification of the existing practice that if the ball touches any part of the football uprights, it's out of play. This year's a new marking of the coaches' team areas. Have fun with that. So that's what it should look the picture. That's what it should look like. You can just tell the administration, like, hey, this is what it should be. But that's all we can do. The ball pressure.
Hey, Dougie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in previous years, I've had pretty good luck just telling the coaches, if it's not marked this way, just tell them keep the players fronts of the toes on the line that's marked, and then give the coaches the next yard in front of the line. But if you can keep all the players in the box and let a couple of the coaches roam around, you'll be that works pretty good. And I'm guessing a lot of teams won't have it marked properly yet this year. So
There you go. Okay, moving on. Ball pressure, the old range of acceptable pressure has been eliminated. The range of what is permitted was so wide that it led to a lot of arguments. So it's all according to the manufacturer recommendation on the ball. Here's an editorial change, not a rule change, but clarifies the penalty for playing with more than one permitted number of players. If a team plays with more than the permitted number of players, the extra player shall be removed from the field and cautioned. If discovered during live play, play shall be restarted with an indirect free kick to the non-offending team from the place where the ball was when played was stopped, subject to the restrictions of Rule 13. And if discovered at a stoppage, the original restart will apply. A lot of words on that. The game roster, this is new. Teams must now submit rosters as follows: to the scorekeeper, to the opposing team, and to the officials. And it's due 15 minutes prior to the game, and the starters must be designated. Any suspension served should be indicated by date, but we're not supposed to see that. So the total cautions and ejections must be listed for the copy of the opposing team and the score. If you get a copy, just tell them to give us a different one. So, re-entry. Field players who left the field due to equipment issues are not violating 4-1, 4-3, or 4-4 for an illness injury that are not subject for teams playing short may re-enter after being beckoned by the referee during the run of play now. So it's during the run of play or at any stoppage of play, including times for normal subs. Provided they receive clearance from the appropriate personnel, the player may re-enter from the halfway line on the side of the field where they were removed. So that's just an editorial clarification. So during the run of play. Substitution in the last 15 minutes of regulation or in any part of an overtime during the final 15 minutes of the second half and during all overtime periods, the timekeeper shall stop the clock as soon as the referee beckons the substitute on the field if the game is tied or if the leading team substitutes. So if it's tied or the leading team substitutes. So this is an attempt to preserve playing time and prevent gamesmanship where subs are used to wind down the clock. So again, 15 minutes, not. Video review. All of the non-experimental situations from last year still remain. So ball completely crossing the goal line, player identification issues, fighting, VB1 and 2, timing errors, and location of the foul called against defending team near the penalty area. Now here's some additions. Should a penalty kick have been called, play can be reviewed either way. Straight red cards, not the second cautions, that are not VB or fighting, can be reviewed if given on the field or not. Determining the proper punishment in case of stopping a promising attack or SPA, or denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity or DOGSO. The referee can examine the validity of the decision to call a foul or not, and whether the play meets the criteria for denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity or stopping a promising attack. So those are additions to last year. And here's more. Determining whether a goal should have been disallowed for an offside. So that doesn't include, it's just an offside, like a goal has to be scored. So this includes players where the call on the field resulted in a goal. So that's the only time. It also includes play where offside is flagged on the field. If the referee blows his whistle for an offside offense before the ball enters the goal, the play is then not reviewable. So keep that whistle in. This is not VAR or applied under FIFA laws. So there are no VAR delayed flags in our game. The intent is to limit this to very close decisions close to the goal. Video review parameters. During a video review, the referee may only review and change calls involving the reviewable aspects of the play as per the rules. Calls involving a non-reviewable aspect of play may not be changed. This is an interpretation clarification. There is no written evidence that the Rules Committee ever supported the idea of the referee having free reign at the monitor. So just understand that we can only change what we're going there to change, not anything else. They changed the alternate official to fourth official. Stopping the clock, clarification. Clarifies that the referee can stop the clock to address an issue involving participant conduct or when the referee believes that time wasting is occurring. This is an editorial change. These points were both included in the approval in the past. So again, that's basically any time we want, right?
Yes.
Postseason only overtime, up to 2 sudden victory periods of 10 minutes shall be played. So that's postseason only. 2 sudden victory, 10 minutes. Clarification. No changes, but definitions provided for the careless, reckless, excessive force, stopping a promising attack, and denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity. Clarification of ejectable offenses, engaging in other abusive, threatening, or obscene language, behavior, or conduct, including leaving the coaching or team area to argue with the ref or the official, or entering the opponent's coaching area and team area in an aggressive or confrontational manner. So you can go refer back to those pretty new lines that we're supposed to have. This is going along with those. So Division 1 men's soccer only, specific rules. So subs, when can a sub be made? Subs can be made on any stoppage of play. And prior check-in still requires unless goals, cautions, keeper ejection, injury, equipment. Unlike substitutions for other divisions, neither a moment nor an entry will be charged if a coach changes their mind about when to make a substitution after players have checked in.
Say what?
So that's saying if the coach decides not to have somebody and they've checked in and they want to still hold them back, they're not charged a moment.
And that's prior to beckoning them on?
Nor is the, I guess. I'm just reading the words. Yeah, it's unlike substitution for other divisions, neither a moment nor an entry will be charged if a coach changes their mind about when to make the substitution after players have checked in.
Okay.
So I guess
Real
that
quick,
means even if we beckon them on, this is to me saying, hey, if the coach decides to bring them back, they're not charged.
real quick before we go any further, in the chat, we've got two questions, or Sean West and George Perry have something. If we could, before we move on, is that all right?
Absolutely. And I hope you have the answer.
Well, I don't know what Sean is saying. He heard differently from Rich. And then George, maybe if we could turn them on and I'm not sure exactly what they're asking.
All right, I'm gonna, Sean, you can talk, and George.
Hey, can you hear me?
So
Yes.
George, yeah, so go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I saw Rich Grady give a presentation at the a clinic in Chicago, and I'm looking through. I took pictures of all the slides. I did not see this blue highlighted stuff. I thought it was the same as before. Is this updated, or is this PowerPoint dated a certain time?
I pulled this from this is Rich Grady's
Okay.
PowerPoint that I pulled like yesterday.
Okay.
So
So it's on. I thought they said that there was a lot of confusion over this, and there'd be a new communication coming out from Rich to solve this exact
Oh, this
scenario.
might be part of it. Yeah. Hopefully,
I
there's a
think
memo
that-
as well.
I think it
Okay.
is.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think we should be looking for that communication from Rich, like in the Mighty Network and RefQuest
Correct.
stuff that.
Okay.
maybe we'll
All
walk
right.
through.
That's my question. Thank
So
you.
what's the confusion?
How they want this unique situation handled. So if you have substitutes up and it's a corner kick and a team decides they don't want to sub in their own attacking corner, whether or not you're counting it as a moment and or an entry for that player. So
I'm not, so if they're beckoned onto the field, it should count. If they're not beckoned on, then they pull them prior to. I mean, that should be
Right,
the
but
clarification.
that I think goes to all the other divisions except for Division 1.
So
I think
what we're,
Division 1 has this, and you're right. Any
Yes.
other division, when they're beckoned, that is the
okay,
count for the sub. This is
Yeah,
only
really, this should involve the word beckoning because, as we know, in the past, once that referee beckons a player that's checked in, now they're a chart. If the coach withdraws them after the beckon, now that's that player is charged with an entry. I think
Should
what
be.
this blue is saying is, let's say there is a beckon by the referee. Oh, coach says, no, it's a corner. I don't want to sub here. The defensive team, for example, could sub because it's open subs on any stoppage, and the offensive
Right.
team could hold somebody back and with no moment and no entry.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just defer to that. It was updated and posted in RefQuest on 8/5. Okay, so if that's the case, then Doug just pulled this yesterday.
yeah. So I don't. Yeah, I just got it yesterday.
All right.
so that
Okay.
the clinic in Chicago was 8-3, so 8-5 should be how he wants it.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving on. I guess
Yep.
we'll get clarification later. Division 1 reentry field players may not re-enter the game in the same period they have been subbed off. Overtime. Each 10-minute period is a separate period with no reentries in that period. Exceptions for above, as noted in 352 and 37, goalkeepers get one free reentry in each period. Injury caused by a player who is carded, a bleeding injury, a possible concussion, or a permanent medical condition. Moments. Each team is permitted 6 substitution moments during a game. A moment may be used during any stoppage play. In postseason overtime, teams retain any unused moments from regulation and get 1 additional moment. All right. what counts as a moment? Sub card will be used. Any stoppage of play where a normal sub is made, whether one player or all 11, making a normal sub at the same time as a sub for one of the exceptions below. What does not count as a moment, the sub card will not be used, is the intervals between periods, a sub made exclusively for bleeding, signs of concussion, or injury where an opponent causing injury was carded, or a sub where only change in the player who entered the game under the previous bullet is replaced by the player they went in for. This is what a sub card looks like. Have fun, fourth officials. Men, Division 1 versus non-Division 1 men. Which rules apply? For cross-divisional competition, i.e. Division men's soccer versus the Division 2 or Division 3 men's soccer, the default recommendation is to use the playing rules of the host institution, designated home team, if game is played at a neutral site. However, teams may mutually agree to use the other division's playing rules. Either way, this should be clarified before the start of the game. Jeez.
Yeah.
We playing today, kids. You guys choose. That's all she wrote, kids. Tony, get better glasses.
All right. All right, guys, two things real quick. George brought up, or I think George was talking about the technical area.
Turn
It
your
has
camera-
been I'm sorry?
turn your camera on.
Turn my camera. All right. So the technical area, guys, if it is not marked for the players, we've seen emails come out on the ECSR side and maybe even on the ACC side and some other things like that. They are asking us to make this a point of emphasis. If it is not marked for the players, ask the host team to put out cones. Now, this is where it gets a little ambiguous. I would say try to use some common sense on making that about a yard, maybe a yard and a half behind the technical area where it should be marked. I hope that makes sense, and that let's make the effort to do this. And also, if the technical areas are not marked correctly, let's try to have a conversation with the crew. And if the referee is making and should be making some type of report, just put it into the report that the technical area is not being marked correctly. That's all we can do, right? And then another part was Tony Capone was asking, can we go over the video review and offsides use again? Do we hold close calls or not? Anybody on the AR side would like to chime in on that? I would say that, yes, if we were looking at offsides and it is close, I know in USSF they want us to hold it. Now, what are we going to do in the college game? Looks like Sean's got an answer. Sean, bring it on. Doug, you give him the microphone. Or Malik. Sean or
Yeah,
Malik.
Malik. Give this one to Malik. Let Malik do it.
All right, Malik.
All right, Malik, just turn on your mic.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I was in the North Carolina clinic a couple of weeks ago. What they're saying is they do not want this to be a wait and see, hold the flag. It's only to be used for tight decisions when the ball immediately goes into the goal. So like in USSF, FIFA, they have the attacking phase of play. NCAA does not want that. So if you have a tight decision, use your best judgment. If you think that, hey, I think they're off, pop the flag. If not, keep it down. But if the ball gets passed around a little bit and then goes into the goal, that earlier decision that you're like, hey, I'm not sure about, that cannot be reviewed.
– Okay.
If I
Clear.
can add to that, the assistant referee, like Malik said, the assistant referee should call and flag as we have always done before. The only delay that is possible is the referee withholding his whistle on an imminent shot. So offside flag goes up, with or without radios, offside, offside, offside. Shot is about to be taken. The referee can hold his whistle to see if the shot goes in the goal or not. But it should not be more than 1 or 2 second delay. And it's on the referee. The assistant referee should raise the flag or keep the flag down as normal.
Like it.
This is the kind of thing that if you're repping with someone you haven't repped with frequently, just ask them. It's a good pregame thing to cover. As you go around from game to game, referee to referee, especially if you're a linesman, different referees are going to want you to handle it subtly differently. So just ask them what they want,
Yep.
and make sure you're all on the same page.
Yep. Then one other note I had was just making sure that everybody know it is 10 minutes in college for overtime, not 15. All right. We're coming down to 12 minutes and 42-1. We're again trying to keep this under an hour. So really what we're looking at right now is kind of opening it up to, we sent out the tests to everyone. Hopefully some people actually took the time and opened that up, filled out the Google form, and started the presentation. If anybody had questions on the test, this is kind of our last 12 minutes. Go over anybody that had that. And then what I will be doing is sending out an email with the test answers for all of the refresher tests. For all of the new members that they're taking a new member test, I've been told once you take the test, your answers are compiled. They will send you an email and let you know what answers you got wrong. And then they will go over, they will send you in the email what the correct answers are. If that is incorrect or something happens differently, please let me know and we can go over that with you guys for the new members. But right now, if we want to just have in either the question and answer or the chat, if you want to ask questions there on a particular question, I think once you do it, the numbers aren't going to be the same. It's all varied there. So if you have a question on something, let's bring it up here and go from there. Anybody? Don't all answer at once. Okay, yeah. So I sent out an email, Michael, today, refresher test number 2 that you should have been able to open up at that point. I did check the second one that I sent out today, so that test should be open now. Malik, have a good time. Enjoy the fall. Mike, did you get that second email today, Shunison? Okay. So I'm taking everybody understands the test and nobody has any questions, or nobody really looked at opening it up and going from there. But like I said, it's an educational thing. It's not really a pass fail. Steve, you can jump in and if you have something to add on that. What we will also, Steve, if you have something else at this point that you would like to talk about, or Doug, you have something too. Unfortunately, I don't know if anybody did hear. Trevino is not on tonight. He is on vacation. He's enjoying a nice time with his fiance.
There's a question about who's the chapter examiner.
I just put my email. I have no idea. That's a good question.
It's Abdu Ben Salah.
Oh, it is.
I believe so.
Okay.
Unless I changed it in the past year, but that's who it has been for many years.
Okay. There you go. Everybody, let's have a great season. We've done a couple of PPTs already. I will be sending out an email to the guys that haven't done one. Of course, if you've done a regional test or you've done something on the USSF side, that will count. So I'll be reaching out to the ones that haven't, and we'll be trying to figure out what we can do about that. Steve, did you want to bring up anything else?
No, no. Appreciate everybody working with me on getting re-registered last year. Working with Tony. It's getting easier every year, and we'll see how it goes again next year. But anytime you can be prompt, the earlier you get re-registered, the easier it is on us at this end, because then we don't worry about whether you got the email or not. So I appreciate everyone that's been prompt.
Does anybody have anything good of the game? Anything else that they would like to bring up prior to the season that we have? Okay. One last thing on the assigning side. So we have University of Indianapolis, Marion, Franklin, reserve games that are going to be in RefQuest. Most of you have, all of you should have been sent a email to show that you have another group in RefQuest. It's Indiana CIISOA. So that is where these games are going to be coming through, and you will see that there. So if you haven't received that, or if you on RefQuest and you don't recognize or don't see that group, please let me know, and we will make sure and get you added to that. Because right now, not only the Central Indiana chapter members, but the Northern Indiana and the Southern Indiana chapter members should also be on there. And if you're not, just send me a quick email so we could do that. So is VAR all divisions? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it's only going to be the major Division I conferences that are really actually going to have VAR capabilities. Most of the other conferences just don't have the money to make that available. Does anybody have any different answer to that?
No, that's the right answer.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're doing pretty good. We got 6 minutes left. Anybody? I can't think of anything else. Steve, how about you? Doug, how about you?
I don't have anything.
Wonderful.
There's
Guys,
one more
oh.
question popped in. Are we allowed to see video on any screens? Can they throw us replay on a phone? I think the answer is yes. They can use any device,
Yes.
but it has to be clear and obvious. So a phone screen, I don't know. You got to be able to see it. But they can present an iPad or any other kind of screen. But it has to be and
Dedicated video.
and sorry, yes, it has to be dedicated. Even if it's an iPhone, it has to be dedicated as the video review system. They just can't take a video and then replay it back to you. That's not. No. You see that, Tony? Tony can't see the screen.
What screen's he talking about?
Never mind. That's pretty good, Bruce.
Oh, hey, hold on. You're right. I took my, wait a minute. Let me put him back on. Now I got it. You're a funny guy, Mike. All right.
I don't have anything else.
So let me get this straight. If Tony turns his back, the goalkeeper bounces the ball, it hits a clod, goes sideways. The guy boots it in, and the parent shows it on the video that he missed it.
No, not a parent. It
Yeah.
has to be, it has to be a dedicated replay system.
Okay.
Hey, Steve DePaul would not even have come close to having that video capability. 20 years
Was
ago.
it DePaul? It's been 20 years ago.
It was at DePaul, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, I remember that.
The parent was on the hill,
Yes, he was.
on the grass field. Yep.
Oh, yeah, down below. It was not. Yeah. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Just want you to know I'm not having a Biden moment.
Hmm.
Remember.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for everything. Thank you to Doug for hosting this. He's taking his time out and doing this as a favor because he's a local chapter member, and we do appreciate that, Doug. Very nice setup, as everybody can see there. Put it back up, Doug. Let everybody see what you've got going on there. That is how big is that plate? 35? Is that a 35 foot?
20 foot. Just
20
20.
foot. It's
I do need a bigger one.
oh. So we want to thank him for helping us out, definitely. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks for being here. And again, if you have anything, please reach out to myself or Steve and Doug as well. Doug is our chapter secretary. Trevino is also on the board as well. So, all right, enjoy, guys.